Hello everyone, today class number 23 of electrical machine 2. Class number 23 for electrical machine 2. Okay. So the today's topic will be the double revolving field theory, which is very much important for your exam purpose and also important for your for this machine only. Okay, for this machine purpose also. Double revolving field theory. Double revolving field theory. Right. This theory makes use of the idea. This theory makes use of the idea that an alternating uniaxial quantity can be represented by two oppositely rotating vectors of half magnitude. Accordingly, an alternating sinusoidal flux as well as the MMF, that is Fs, can be represented by two revolving fluxes, each equal to half of the value of the alternating flux, and each rotating in synchronous speed in opposite direction. That is, f of s can be written as f of sf plus f of sb. Okay, so this is the forward stator flux, stator MMF, and this is the backward stator MMF. Or you can say phi of s equals to phi of sf plus phi of sb. Okay, so here f of s equals to resultant stator MMF. This is resultant stator flux. This is forward stator flux, and this is backward stator flux. Forward stator MMF, it is MMF, and this is forward stator flux, and this is backward stator flux. Okay, so then write from the starting to the achieving moment of the rated speed, the forward rotating MMF and the backward rotating MMF are equal in magnitude and in opposite direction. Thus, so at any instant we can say this is f s f, so it will be f of sb. So the angle is theta. If we consider this is angle theta, so theta 1, so it will be minus theta 1. Okay, so your resultant will be, if we add them, then the resultant will follow this line. Okay, the resultant will follow f of s1. Okay, resultant will follow this one. Okay, so and after some times, if we add again at this instant, that is s of f S of f1, S of f2. Now this is f of sb2 and the angle of it is theta 2 and this angle is minus theta 2. Then the resultant also looking into same, that is fs1 equals to fs2. Okay, at any duration in between this angle, that is angle in between 0 to 90 degree. Okay, theta equals to 0 to 90 degree, whatever the theta may be theta 1, theta may be theta 1, theta 2, whatever you can say. So theta will be at any value, it will be follow this line. Okay, it will be follow this line. Okay, and at theta equals to 90 degree, and what happened at theta equals to 90 degree, when it will follow this line. Suppose this is fs s of f3, and now similar equal and above opposite one s of sb3, then they are cancels themselves, then the f of s equals to 0, right? So when theta equals to 90 degree, then the resultant mmf will be 0, and when again it will follow this section, then it will be resultant flux will be follow this line, on this line, right? So it will be, suppose f of sb4 equals to f of sb5, whatever you can say. Okay, so when theta having the range equals to greater than 90 degree and from 180 degree, greater than 90 degree and less than the 180 degree, then theta then it will also have some magnitude f of sb4 equals to f of sb5. Okay, and here it will be f of sb1 equals to f of f of s4, s of s5, f of s1 equals to f of s2. Okay, so that means again theta equals to 180 degree, then what happened? Theta equals to 180 degree means it will follow on this line. So it will be theta, so it will be 90 degree and 180 degree. So when it is 180 degree, then f of s equals to it will be just added, completely added, right? So it will be 2 of f of sb or 2 of f of sf. Okay, whatever you can say. So at 180 degree it will be 2 times of it. Okay, so that means the resultant flux always having the same magnitude and flowing in opposite direction with the same synchronous speed. Okay, within having a same synchronous speed. Okay, so next write this f of sf is induced by the flux phi of sf, and this f of sb is induced by phi of s of b. Okay, when phi of f and phi of b are equal, when phi of f and phi of b in equal phase, in same phase, then they are added to becomes the resultant flux will be double, is added and the resultant flux will be double. And when they are in phase opposition, then they cancels themselves to produce zero flux. Okay, next write, that is slip for forward rotating, under this topic, slip for forward rotating flux phi of sf, s equals to, now we are taking it is s, slip for forward, s of f, ns minus nr by ns, right? And slip for backward rotating flux, that is phi of sb equals to s of b equals to ns minus of minus nr. Why? Because it will rotate in having the same magnitude nr and in just in opposite direction by ns. Okay, so it will be equals to ns minus of minus plus, that will be nr by ns. Okay, so ns minus nr plus 2nr by ns Can we write it? Yes, we can easily write it. And for this one it will be also negative, right? For this one it will be also negative. So taking minus as common, ns plus nr okay, so actually it will be ns minus ns plus nr minus ns plus nr by ns, or it will be one thing I am written in wrongly, that is this is for you. So here it will be ns minus nr by ns. Okay, so take minus ns minus nr, suppose we are taking it plus nr, and minus 2nr by ns. Okay, can we write it? Yes, because for this case, for the forward rotating slip, forward rotating flux, ns will be positive, right? Ns will be positive, and for the negative flux, ns becomes the negative one. That means it is in opposite direction having the same magnitude. That is, ns becomes only negative, but the magnitude of this ns remains same. So there is no change of nr. Why? Because the nr is in rotor part. Nr is in the rotor part. But in case of the field theory, that is the double revolving field theory, which only affects on the stator part, stator field flux. Okay, so that's why the synchronous speed only modified. There is no modification over the nr part. Okay, that is the rotor speed. There is no modification on rotor speed. So that's why for the backward rotating slip, backward rotating flux, it will be minus ns, and the forward rotating flux, it will be just plus ns. Okay, only this change, only this one is changes. Okay, so by taking this relation, can we modify it by this way? That is a plus nr minus 2nr, right? Okay, so then one taking negative as a common, ns minus nr divided by ns, it will be plus so no need to write over here. Actually minus nr is comes, right? So it will be minus ns equals to what? So it is also negative, right? This is also negative because ns becomes the negative. So minus, take it common, ns minus plus nr by ns. So minus minus will be cancelled out. So sb equals to ns plus nr by ns. So that will be equals to 2ns minus ns plus nr by ns. Okay, so 2ns by ns minus, take it common, ns minus nr by ns, right? So it will be 2 minus, this is your s, right? So s of b equals to 2 minus s. So s of f equals to, can we assign it as s? So sf equals to s and s of b equals to 2 minus s. Okay, this to proof is very much important. Okay, and from this concept there will be a question in your exam purpose. Okay, so now write at standstill condition, s equals to 1. At standstill condition s equals to 1, that is no slip with, that is no rotation is takes place, that is s equals to 1, that is sf equals to 1 and sb equals to also 1. Because if we put s equals to over here 1, then sf equals to 1, and now put s equals to 1 over here, then sb also equals to 1. Okay, so at standstill condition all the slips are 1. Okay, and now write, as the speed of the rotor increases, then slip will gradually decreases up to 0. Okay, and thus sf gradually decreases and asb gradually increases. So sf gradually decreases up to 0 and sb gradually decreases up to 2. Okay, so that means when the speed rises, then the forward field will forward field will be stronger, and the backward field will be gradually decreasing its strength. The backward field is gradually decreasing its strength. Okay, so forward MMF will rotate inside the air gap to rotate the rotor in forward direction. Okay, so this can be happened, right? This can be happened only when there will be a additional field induced by auxiliary winding along with the stator field. Okay, so from the concept of torque, now we are writing Tf equals to forward torque due to F of SF, T of B equals to backward torque due to F of SB, right? Therefore resultant torque T equals to T of F difference T of B. Okay, so right, if TF is greater than TB, then it will produce a torque in forward direction, and if TB is greater than TF, then it will produce a torque in backward direction. Okay, so the torque equation, suppose this is your this red color is TF, right? So this is your torque axis and this is slip axis. Okay, okay, so this is your TB. So here S equals to 0, here S equals to 1, and here S equals to 2. See, when this is the torque slip characteristics of single phase induction motor without any auxiliary winding, right? The figure caption, torque slip characteristics of single phase induction motor without any auxiliary winding. That means when slip equals to 1, that is slip equals to 1 means NR equals to 0. When NR equals to 0, and here NR equals to NS, and here NR equals to minus NS. Okay, negative synchronous speed. See, when NR equals to 0, that is a standstill condition, whatever the torque is present by the backward field, which will be exactly equal to the forward field, that is the torque will be cancelled out, right? So at the starting condition, no resultant torque will produce. TF minus TB will be 0. So from this figure, right, at starting condition NR equals to 0, then TF equals to TB, that is resultant torque T equals to 0. That means it must have some modification over the stator field such that the flux will rotate in either side in resultant manner, right? So that means if we add an extra field over here, then it can able to produce a non-zero torque at starting condition. Okay, so as the gradually if the gradually motor runs, as the gradually NR will achieves, then it will rotate in forward direction, that is gradually the field forward torque is increasing and the backward torque is decreasing, right? So at that particular ultimate particular amount of time, it will able to rotate by itself, right? So within this duration actually the auxiliary winding need to be present with the stator field flux. Okay, so to generate the starting torque, auxiliary winding must have to present along with the stator field flux. Okay. So this is all about for your double revolving field theory, and next day I will start the equivalent circuit of it. Equivalent circuit is one of the important topic of the single phase induction motor. So let's start in next day. So today's class up to this much. Thank you.